Welcome back, everyone. So, new update dropped, and we got some new hammers to play with, an elemental and a new physical one. I've just done a whole lot of testing to see if they're any good, and you'll be a little surprised by the end of the video on how good they actually are. So, let's get straight to it. So, here's our three contestants. We have the Boeing 737 turbine engine of a fucking hammer. This thing is gigantic. On your back, or when you're just using it, it's huge. I don't know how it's possible to miss with this, but our tree will look like this. So we have to take a quick left here to pick up our one-stroke fury. Then we also need to, before we get to there, we need to go pick up this desperation and this extended wrap. But after that, we just end up on the wolf, like so. And our weapon will look like this. And here is our physical hammer. I love this hammer, bro. This is the best hammer for me. This is my princess right here, bro. This hammer knows how to put it down and pick it up at the same time. Look at the nodes that I have. You're going to eventually get a weapon that looks a little something like this. And here is the last hammer. This hammer is trying to be the new best one. Unfortunately, it is a crit hammer, and crit is still not good. If you were to put more crit, maybe, but I don't know. It's just not hitting the same. So just copy these nodes. I have to take this weird ass tree to get here because everything's everywhere. And yeah, you'll look like this. So every hammer here has its strengths and weaknesses, and I'm going to be showing you all of them. But first, I need to eliminate this crit hammer. Now, this hammer isn't the best. It's very niche, and where it is niche, it's barely doing better. So for this first test, since this is a critical hammer, I had to do a few more runs than usual to get the hammer to crit, and I found out some new stuff. One, for some reason, this hammer cannot crit against a kimono's face. Now, I've tested this on the monkey, and I've tested this on Grit Dog. It could never get a critical strike on a kimono's head, so that was out of the equation. Now, for all the numbers you're going to see, you're never just one number. I have done multiple runs, and if I always got the same number, that's the number that I agreed that that's what it's doing. That was both a crit strike and a non-crit strike with the critical hammer. Now here's the raw hammer. And as you can see off that alone, that the raw hammer outdamaged the crit hammer even on a crit strike. And let it be known that the crit hammer only does have, I'd say, about like a 40% chance to critically strike, 25% on the weapon, plus 20% from critical fury or whatever it is that lets you get more crit chance after you get a crit strike. If you notice the hammer's design, you'll know that it's not really a hammer, it's an axe. That's not just done cosmetically. Hammer actually deals slash damage because of that. So, like I said before, that monkey is equal to both weapons. There's no advantage in one. Now I'm going to change it up a little. I'm going to give that weapon the advantage and find an opponent that's weaker to slash, but they will be tankier to impact. First up, we have the raw hammer. And now we have the critical hammer. Now, that was a non-critical strike from the crit hammer, because like I said before, the hammer cannot critically strike on a kimono's head. So, the raw hammer will beat the crit hammer on a non-crit, but if that hammer did crit, use the same multiplier that we did with the monkey, which is 32%, we would end up with this damage number right here, and that did beat the raw hammer. So the crit hammer versus a kimono that is weak to slash on a critical strike is only gonna do 11% more damage than the raw hammer. That is on a critical strike, which is only about a 40%, give or take. That's why I'm saying this crit weapon is a little doo-doo. I'm gonna go ahead and put this shit in the back, and I ain't gonna pick it up again. Matter of fact, I'm gonna refund for this shit because it's that trash. I'm not liking the way this critical weapon's feeling. Until they maybe add more crit damage, these weapons I don't think will ever perform on hammer at least. Now we got two weapons left. We have our raw weapon, and finally hammer has a good elemental weapon. Yep, you heard that correct. This elemental weapon is good. Well, let me just simplify this here with this fire weapon. Only use this if your opponent's fire stars are 3 and above. Everything beneath that, the physical weapon will do better. But if they are 3 and above, this weapon will do more damage. Plus, you have a natural chance to set them on fire. So it is just a win-win. To check a kimono and the resistances, just pause the game and go to Encyclopedia. And you can see all the stats on a monster and see how weak they are and how strong they are to any element. That's what I mean when I say 3 stars or above. In the test I'm going to show you, I'll be fighting the cat. This cat is 3-star rated to fire. So it is right at the sweet spot for you to swap to fire. First up is physical. Now we have elemental. Yes, that was a small amount of damage, but that was still a 3% damage increase nonetheless. You have to remember that is 3% damage you're getting on top of naturally being able to have your weapon on fire, so you're always able to have your weapon set ablaze. And you have to take in mind that this is only a 3-star monster that I was fighting. Against a 4-star, that 3% goes all the way up to a 10% damage bonus now. So that shit starts adding up. 10% on every hit, that's very good. But with that being said, that's everything I wanted to show you. You now know that the elemental hammer has a home. You know that the critical hammer belongs in the fucking trash can. And you also know that the raw hammer from before is still your best weapon, as of now. Now, can I suggest that you build these hammers? Well, the critical hammer, you've already seen, don't build that shit. And as long as you have the raw hammer, you don't need anything else, you are fine. The fire hammer, I will say, is pretty good if you want to step up your hammer game. It'll definitely give you quicker clear times in the future, just by maybe a few seconds. But those few seconds could mean a lot. Thanks for watching this video. It took some time to make, but whatever, I still did get it out. Well, I think I have a Diablo weekend to catch up to now. About 3 days of Diablo grind, so that being said, peace.